Hi, my name is Erin and welcome to another ConTech Coffee Chat where we talked about, you guessed it, construction tech and other fun stuff in AEC. Our topic today is why I'm so tired of AI. Let's get into it. So I jotted down this thought at one point or another that I'm tired of AI. I keep seeing it. It's been a couple years, it feels like, that we've been just talking and talking about this topic. And ultimately, if we zoom out a little bit and kind of, take ourselves out of the hype, like it's more or less the same processes that we're going to follow or should be following when it comes to tech adoption and innovation. So, in terms of our adoption of the tool, it really shouldn't change what we're doing too much. So yeah, I'll just throw that out there as the opener.
Well, I was laughing because I was just thinking about BIM and I was like, I'm taking the other side. I love AI. I'm often heard out saying out loud, I love AI because I agree with you. I think the process and adoption is the same, but I'm not talking about like construction tech tools. I'm just talking about like ChatGPT, Claude, LLMs. They have completely changed my workflows. So even in that, if we look at that process map, like finding an email or writing an email or writing a report. I hate that and it does it for me and it's the best.
Right. No, powerful statements. I love it. I feel like there are many good use cases too that we just need to share more of. So maybe I'll hit you up later for that, email to report flow. But yeah, but I guess when it comes back to tech adoption, I just really think that organizations should stick to more or less the standard process of how they evaluate tools and not just do shiny tech syndrome or shiny object syndrome and chase down anything that like has AI in the name. I think that's where my frustration comes from.
So were you seeing that over that hype cycle?
Yeah. So it kind of felt like there was a wave of like, hey, like, what do you have on AI? What's your favorite AI tool this? What's your favorite AI tool that? And it's like, okay, well, let's focus actually on the problem you're trying to solve, find the right fit for it, and whether or not it has AI in it, could be something to evaluate. The core of what, the process is addressing should be maybe not quite relying on whether it's like an AI tool or not, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think there's an interesting categorization between a tool that's solving a pain point and using AI in its tech stack to solve that pain point more effectively
Mm.
versus I think like a trunk tools, which I haven't used
Mm-hmm.
that tool, but like to me is like, oh, they're trying to make a new innovation on top of what is already existing of we're a second brain. And I think for that first part, completely agree with you. For the second part, I think it's hard for me because I look at it and I go, I don't even know what this is and I don't know what this looks like. So because we don't understand how it can be used, almost, how do we evaluate it? But if we don't understand it can't be how it can be used, should it be something that we should be trying? Like, is this the way the industry's going? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say though, like, I wish we had a template that AEC companies could follow that, it's all standardized and we follow the same steps for evaluation so that we don't skip the step of what you're pointing out, which is understanding how the tool actually functions. Because to me, that's also one of the essential things that you need to know before you buy, right? Or before you invest. So yeah, maybe yeah, that's a good gap to point out is that we're not doing all these things consistently, so we're missing important pieces of what we need to be informed to make the decision.
There is that tension between, as I've recently been likening it, so tell me if this is wrong or right. There's like the push innovation, which is you have a new innovation and you're trying to find a use case for it to match to. And then there's pull, which is the field wants this and you're finding things. So you have your strategic priorities, you're doing your market scan, you're pulling it in. But then AI feels like a push innovation where we're like, wow, we just had a step change. We know it's going to impact, but we don't know how it's going to impact. And we're worried that the first mover who figures out how AI will change and improve their workflows gets such a meaningful market edge that they start beating all of us. So it feels like there's a bit of a concern there. And it's like, oh, should we trial everything just so that we know and we're not behind?
Yeah, that frames it really well. Obviously, there's a bit of both going on. I would say, I mean, I'm kind of biased because I'm from the contractor side, but I always like that pull innovation where it's like, yeah, I have this problem, care about my problem first, and then, let's solve it together. Instead of like, here's this cool thing, let me throw it at something and hope it sticks. I also tend to lean towards, the industry, when you get into it, it has so many layers of complexity that if you just try to throw something out and hope it works, it usually just isn't going to stick. So, what I find a lot of times, especially with tech teams that don't necessarily have a ton of construction background, but they have these really great ideas and tremendous technical capability, they have to go back to the drawing board, more more iterations than they thought they would because the push approach didn't quite work, or you get into it and you're like, oh, this is actually not a good fit at all for what it is that we've developed, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's just one of the challenges with building anything for our industry, and that's unchanged with AI, as you've mentioned it. It's like if you're an entrepreneur, build something that people want and talk to your customers. And
Right.
if you're an innovation manager, build something, acquire solutions that people want and talk to your people and your field staff. And I
Yeah.
think you've mentioned that before.
I just thought up like a third option, right? There's push, there's pull. I think there's going to be like democratization of these tools and services because the technology and delivery of it, I mean, we're talking about AI, right? Is getting not easy, but like so much more accessible that it may just be, we'll give it some time, right? But maybe in the future, it's where anybody can just say like, "Hey, I want a tool that does this," and then they can just quickly, efficiently create that tool for themselves without having to go to the market or without having the market come to them. It's self creation. So yeah, that's kind of a third option that's opening up.
I think that's what I've been seeing in the market as well. And that has been the general trend with software development evolution of going from main languages to abstract. I mean, yeah, getting more abstract with our languages. And what we've really started to see now is starting to notice how we are getting to a place where it's easier to become software developers. It's easier to create new products, but it's more challenging at the same time to get customer acquisition costs down and distribution down and adoption high.
Yeah. Gosh, it's a lot of food for thought there. I'm like, I gotta wrap my brain around that. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack on this. But yeah, ultimately, I think that like we should come up with some sort of like, standard process to just do evaluations, make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure we have all those gaps closed of information so that it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not the tool has is based on AI or not, but we get a quality evaluation or like matching of
Well, I'm
problems,
laughing at
essentially.
that because I'm like, shameless plug. We have an article coming up.
No, go for it. Go.
Yeah, but that is the thing, right? Like, I think every in-house contractor is building a process, but when you step back, the principles of innovation are the same. Listen to your
Yeah.
customer, understand what they need, build a product and a feature set to that, and make sure you have a strong enough team to deliver that. And on the innovation side, what does the executives want? Where are we charting our future, and how does that line up with the field's needs? How do we get that overlap and then find and complete market scans which reflect that and get adoption because we have pull, but we also have strategic foresight.